Hello, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back. This is Force, and here today I am happy to present to you some XCOM 2 gameplay. I was one of the fortunate few who got a chance to take a look at this game early. 2K invited me to an event in which I got to see a presentation, but also get about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of gameplay time with it. So I get to just sit down, play the game, check out the various features, and, the idea is that they want us to form an opinion. And here in this video, I'm going to share my opinion with you. So the first thing I want to talk on is sort of the framework for this game. Basically, XCOM 2 is set in a world where the aliens won. You were not successful in XCOM 1. The aliens have taken over, and in doing so, they've managed to convince humanity that it's a good thing. Basically saying, you know what, we're going to give you a lot of technology, we're going to give you clean and safe cities, get rid of disease, and all of this stuff. And on its face, it seems fantastic. I mean, who wouldn't want those things? No more disease, no more crime, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, what's happening is there's some shady stuff going on. There are reports of humans going missing in these major cities that the aliens have built up. And so the XCOM unit is now, instead of this like defense force that Earth is behind, we're now this group of vigilantes who's basically fighting from the underground in a mobile HQ to try to eliminate our new alien overlords, essentially. Now, I doubt I'm going to cover all of the new features in here, but I just want to first off show you some gameplay and then talk with you about some of the new things that I encountered and my impressions on the game as a whole. Of course, now these are just impressions from a couple of hours of gameplay. This is not a final review by any means, and this was all in a very controlled environment. They brought us out and sat us down, they showed us a presentation, and then they said, here, sit at these computers that we've picked and play the game that we've set up in this small fraction. But of course, that goes without saying. That's how all these sort of events work, but you should just know that ahead of time. So a couple of neat things about this game. In terms of the gameplay itself, it's XCOM. It's more XCOM, but that's not a bad thing at all. It's not a huge departure from the first game that was released a couple of years ago, but that's just fine because that game won a multitude of awards. It was my game of the year personally. I absolutely loved it, and that was coming from a guy who really typically doesn't enjoy turn-based games, but XCOM I just fell in love with. So I'm really excited to have more XCOM. There's a couple of interesting new things that they're doing here. First of all, they're added the concealment ability, which basically at the start of a mission, your entire squad starts off concealed. And this allows you to get the drop on the enemy to evade detection a little bit easier. Now, once someone in your squad is revealed, the entire squad's concealment is broken, unless you've got specific perks. There are specific types of soldiers that actually won't break concealment when the rest of your squad has. So it's basically a neat little ability to allow you to spot enemies on patrol and take them out before you're revealed to all of the aliens in the entire mission. The game has also added a loot system in which enemy aliens will drop weaponry, and then you can pick that up and use that weaponry, which is kind of neat. I didn't get to see too much of it, but I picked up a weapon. I don't know what I could actually do with it, to be honest with you. Whether it's I'm assuming it's either research or you can actually use the weapon itself, but either way, that's what it is. The game's got indestructible environments. The floors, the ceilings, all of that stuff can be blown up with grenades. I believe we saw some of that in the original XCOM, but maybe they've added to that a little bit here. Weapons can now be upgraded, so if you take a look in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll notice the little green attachments to the weapons that my soldiers are using. Those are mods. You're going to get those mods. You're going to pick them up as part of the loot system. You'll pick them up off enemies. You'll research mods, and you can attach those mods to your weapons to give you things like increased accuracy. You get things like I think there's like hair triggers. There's just all sorts of different modifications to improve your weapons. Increased clip size, 5% chance to insta-kill something, a bunch of different upgrades that you can get. The game features procedurally generated maps. I'm actually not certain if that was in the first XCOM, but it is the case here. And another really cool thing about the maps is that they've got different, like, there's day-night cycles, there's different seasons that can apply to the same levels. So you could be doing one level and it's winter, and another level it's nighttime and raining. Like that's very cool. So to go along with the procedural generation, there's also that element of the changing effects again in the weather and the day-night cycle, all of that. So some pretty cool things. Those are just some of the features that I can think of off the top of my head that I gotta take a chance to look. Now, you've been watching some gameplay here in the background, and again, as I said, it's more XCOM, but that isn't a bad thing. So what does that mean? Well, you've got your multiple moves a turn. You've got your first move and second move, and that can be used to fire weapons, to throw grenades, to do a move to get a better angle, to increase your accuracy, and all of that stuff. All that information is really, they push it right to the forefront. They will show you your percent chance to hit. They will show you how that calculation is done based on your elevation, based on the enemy's cover, all of that stuff. Another cool thing they show you here is when you're moving to a position, it's actually going to display whether or not that move would put you in line of sight of an enemy. So you notice as I'm moving my character's cursors around, it shows how many enemies that soldier could hit if I move there. So this guy's moving now, and once I click on fire, I have 2 enemies in my sight, and all of that information is displayed to you before you actually make that move. Now, I think that's a great improvement over the first game, because in the first game, sometimes I'd move to a position where I thought I'd be able to take a shot, but then that shot was not available to take because for whatever reason they were blocked more so than I had expected them to. And again, you can notice here on the left-hand side of the left center of the UI, it shows you the percent chance to hit, how that's calculated, the good angle, whatever, your weapon range, all of that stuff. I just love it. I love that they present all of that information right at the forefront. And then, of course, you know, again, keeping in line with the fact that this is more XCOM, we've got our different soldiers, which have different specializations, different unique abilities. And I'm not going to sit here and list off all of the soldiers, but it's what you expect. We've got like our sniper type character. There's also melee characters. In fact, like the ability to use a sword in this game. So like close range melee or shotgun characters, long range sniper. We've got our LMG characters. We got like our healing type characters, all sorts of different stuff. Different types of enemies. There are these snake creatures can like whip out their tongue and pull people out from behind cover. Just like that stuff's actually crazy. And also, I guess some of the lore stuff. The type of enemies we're fighting against, they're called Advent soldiers, and what they are these human alien hybrids. So it's this, oh god, my friend died. So they're these human alien hybrid things that have been created by the aliens. Part of the reason why it's probably not a good thing that the aliens have taken over Earth. Like, we shouldn't say, yeah, sure, aliens, just take over the planet. You're not going to do anything badly, are you? Well, they're starting to experiment, and already just on the fringe of things, I can see that things aren't as chipper as the alien overlords would probably like us to believe. Now, beyond the gameplay that you've been taking a look at here, I mentioned how there's some customization that you can do. There's actually quite a bit of customization. So you can customize things like the gender, the nationality, you can customize their backstory, their name, but something that they've taken some big steps to do here in XCOM 2 is allow you to fully customize the armor. There is a wide variety of head, torso, arm, and leg wear that you can customize, different looks for your characters. But then on top of that, there's also this dyeing system where you can dye that armor with different graphics. So you could have like a camo graphic, you could have a smiley face graphic, and you could choose what color you want that to be on your weapon. So all this customization really adds to the feeling that these soldiers, even though they're disposable, they mean something to you. And that's something that this XCOM 2 appears to be doing even more so than the first XCOM. I know, me personally, I would get attached to my soldiers. I'd have the soldier, he's leveled up a bit, he's been with me through like several missions in a row, like he's been so clutch, getting so many kills, all this great stuff, and then all of a sudden he dies in a mission, and it's like, oh no, like we lost him. Now, of course, you could save scum around that, but you want an authentic playthrough, you probably don't do that. And now this adds an extra level of care for those soldiers, now that you're going to be customizing the way they look significantly. I mean, I just think that's really cool. It's a nice little addition. Either way, I guess I just want to wrap things up here by saying, It is more XCOM, but that's a good thing. We've got new additional features. They're also going to be bumping up mod support as far as I was aware. So modding is going to be a huge thing here in XCOM 2. They're going to give you the tools that they used to build the game and let you do what you want with that. And that includes like the visual customization and all sorts of stuff like that. So I think we're going to wrap up this video. I just, again, wanted to show you some gameplay, talk with you about some of the features that I remembered, and give you my general impressions. Overall, hell, man, I'm excited. I really, really liked the first XCOM. This is more of that and then some. And for that reason, I'm looking forward to it. Now, I do have a couple of hours worth of footage, so we might take a look at some more gameplay. Maybe we'll just take a look at some straight-through gameplay with some commentary on top of it in the coming days. But for now, I hope you enjoyed my initial thoughts on XCOM 2. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the gameplay, and I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. And with that, guys, I'll see you later.
Hit the armor! Moving to position.